I thought this would make another good AC video. I put in 230 grams. It calls for 465 grams. Look at my duct dash temperature. 42 degrees, 41 degrees. So, how's that? I'm gonna fill by a little fucking jerk-off can and squirt my splooge in there, like the hack shops do, until I get nice cold out the dash. Now, if I had one of those little BS, little bumfuck little gauges off Home Depot, or not Home Depot, Kragen's, Grand Auto, one of the big box car stores, has that little gauge that moves back and forth, and you keep filling up until it says like 30, 35. It's cycling right now, but somewhere in the middle, and you stop as you're filling it up, let it kick on. Now remember, when you're using one of those little BS gauges from the auto parts store, you don't get to see the high side or anything else. But Billy Bob Butt Crack will fill it up until you get some nice cold dash temperatures coming out of the dash, and it's a mild day where it's not that hot, and let you go out there, but there's no superheat coming back, no cooling coming back to the compressor. And you only have 230 grams out of 465 grams inside there. And these are the kind of cars that I get coming back to me after they've been to garages and body shops with the guys who jerk off with the little cans and splooge their lube. So just had to do a little documentation here. You can get perfectly cold dash temperatures, and just by splurging a little refrigerant in there. I'm gonna finish off filling it up, but I had to put that down on video to show the little whack-off guys who use their cans, who actually charge customers for a service. It's more like a disservice to the customers, especially the body shops. There's a lot of them that are notorious for using the cans, and a lot of the times the excuse is, oh, the insurance company won't pay me enough to make money on it, so we can't buy a machine, or we can't do it right. We have to do it this way because we won't get paid. Since when does an insurance company tell you how to do something right or wrong? It's because you yourself, as an owner, don't know the difference between right or wrong. You don't know the difference between the proper procedures to do it. So you just listen to somebody else who doesn't know, who just goes, well, the guys over there doesn't charge us for that, and those guys don't charge us for that. And so, well, if everybody doesn't charge us for this in this community, therefore this must set the price and to determine the methods on which the AC should be performed. So because you come from a country, maybe you stone your sister because she talked to a boy without her veil, that makes it okay, because everyone else stones a woman because, you know, they talked to a guy or they went out in public, you know, or you're, hey, they kill little girls when they're born because everybody else does it and that's what they want, so that makes it okay. So just because you come from somewhere where maybe, you know, ripping off everybody you can to make a price, to make deal and make money by screwing people is the normal way of doing it, no, that doesn't make it right, and you don't have to do it that way. You could be one of those, or you could be one of the other guys. Make your determination. But yeah, this is the kind of shit I see all the time, and this is the reason why when summer rolls around, this customer will not, it's too cool right now. For the next couple months, this customer will never know that they're running on half a charge. And then they go, well, I don't have the money right now, and it's getting summer, it's 70, 80 degrees. I'll just keep cranking up my AC, and all the time you're cranking up the AC on a half charge or lower, the compressor is overheating and lack of oil coming back. And then it gets into summertime, it gets really hot. Oh wow, compressor burns up. Why? Because the guy who touched it before only filled it up, not all the way, only until it got nice and cold out the dash. That's why. Those SOBs who screw over customers because they could get 43, 41 degrees out of the dash by half filling a car, these are the guys we need to eliminate out of our trade. And if they're the owners, they need to be shut down. And everybody needs to know who is doing this And I've been talking this over with a couple other shops who are like me. We don't like the shops who have owners who don't actually work on the cars and know what they're doing, but yet we get their cars as redos in our local neighborhoods. And we're struggling with, there's people who say, oh, you shouldn't say their name, you shouldn't show their invoices, and there's guys who go, you should, and everybody should know about them. I don't know, there's people who say they'll put themselves out of business, but some of these shops have been in business 20 or 30 years doing this kind of work, and they make a lot of money selling customers parts over and over again for what they did wrong in the first place. But the government's not there to protect you. There are no protections, there are no rules, laws, or regulations to say a mechanical shop has to have somebody in the shop who actually knows what they're doing. The owner could be as gifted as knowing how to pour soap in a bucket and push a mop, but that very owner who's never touched a wrench or changed oil in their life is allowed to own a shop and actually hire people and tell them what to do repairs to make him money. That is the reality. So until you, the customer, if you stumble upon this video, understand there is no protections of who services your transmission, who does your body work, who does your tune-up, who changes your coolant and doesn't do it right, and you blow a head gasket 4 or 5 months later because they left air in the system because they didn't properly bleed out all the air. There are no rules, laws, or regulations to protect consumers from these kind of shops. And if you go back, you'll usually see the majority of the owners of those shops cannot perform the procedures they're asking their technicians to. That's it for today. I gotta finish filling this thing up.